Hi, I'm Cheridene Danster. I am a psychology and sociology graduate, and I was born and bred in Germiston. So currently I have two jobs. I work for a local radio station where I am a news anchor, I am a presenter, and I work for the production team. And also I work for a psychology practice where I do medico-legal reports. I also do criminal capacity and educational assessment reports. And I have side hustles. Okay, so why I do what I do. So from a young age, I've always wanted to be in the entertainment industry, but I was extremely shy. I wasn't the one. So I was a type of girl that would sit in the corner and I wouldn't speak to anybody. I wouldn't want to be acknowledged by anybody. That's how shy I was. So I just wanted to raise my confidence, and psychology and sociology, I went into that field because I actually want to help people. So what I want to do in the future is I want to be a criminal psychologist, and I want to focus on children. So I want to help them get through their problems just so that they don't end up in the criminal justice system. I just want to be their support. I want to motivate them to do better and know that there is better out there, and that whatever they see around them isn't the end goal. I balance it quite well. So from Mondays to Thursdays, I do radio presenting. And then on Fridays, I work at the psychology practice. Sometimes that goes into Saturdays and Sundays as well as the radio station. Sometimes I work Saturdays and Sundays for the radio station. Sometimes they do overlap, and then I have to make a decision as to which one I'm taking. So sometimes I work from home. I am quite busy, so I have to make a schedule to ensure that I actually do balance what I do and that I get everything done. It was not at all easy accomplishing what I have accomplished. So like I told you earlier, I was a very shy child. So I would go to auditions and I would just flop. Like, they'd ask me to do something, they'd ask me to drink milk, act like I'm drinking milk. And I stood there like a statue and I was like this. And it was just like, okay. I'm sure they were like, girl, you're wasting our time. But nonetheless, I've grown from there. So I did modeling as well. I did fairly well in that. I won a few competitions until I got to matric, where they had a Mr. and Miss at our high school. I entered for that. I did very well in that until it came to answering a question. So that was the first year that they implemented the question and answer session. And they asked me a question. I did rehearse this before the time, but when it came to the time, they asked the question. So there's multiple eyes on me. They asked me the question and I just froze. I laughed because I was nervous and I didn't know what to answer. So after that, I was just like, and I just froze. I kept quiet, and then I went off stage. I ended up winning second princess, and the judge came to me afterwards and they were like, you were going to win the competition. It's just that your answer, you froze and you laughed, so we had to deduct points. So from that day forward, I was like, I'm going to work on my confidence from now on. After matric, I went to university. I wanted to do media, but my parents said I needed something more stable. So I went to university and I went to go do psychology. I got in the line the day of registration. So I'm speaking to the girl in front of me and she's like, so what are you going to study? She's like, she's studying psychology and sociology. I'm like, oh damn, I don't know what I'm going to study. And then I was like, what's sociology about? So she tells me what sociology is about. So I'm like, okay, I think I'll do that. I went to go register for psychology and sociology. So it was quite an adjustment also in university because you meet new people, you're on your own, you have to juggle work, your social life. Also, you meet different personalities. You have to cook, you have to clean, you have to do your dishes, your laundry, you have to do all of these things for yourself. There's no one to help you. And I was all the way in Northwest, 2 hours away from where I currently live. So that was quite an adjustment. So I had to adjust to that. It was group work, making new friends, but I think I handled it quite well. So until it came to examinations, I wrote my first exam. I thought I did okay in it, but so they release your marks a few days after you write your exam. I think it's 3 to 7 days that they take to release your marks. So I was busy studying for the exam that I was writing the next day. I see an email that says your marks are out. So I open the document and I look for my student number. I see my student number and next to it, it says second opportunity granted. So what this basically means is that you failed the exam, and in the exam, you need to get at least 40% to pass. So it's my first ever exam in university and I see second opportunity granted. I was just deflated, demotivated because I have an exam the next day. I'm like, what am I going to do now? So I'm just like, girl, you have to push through. If you ever want to see just pass marks, you need to push through so that you never see this fail mark or the second opportunity granted mark ever again. So I studied through it, I pushed through it, I tried to forget about that second opportunity granted statement, and I went to go write my exam the next day. I wrote all my exams and I think I did pretty well. So I got a few marks, they were average, I got a few distinctions here and there, and then I went to go rewrite the module that I failed and I passed it the second time around. So the next year, it was in the beginning of the year where I get this email. I still remember I was on holiday in Durban with my mother. I get this email and this email just says that you've been awarded with Golden Key International Awards. So I was like, nah, this isn't for me. This is a scam. I asked the girl that I used to study with. I was always with her. We always did our assignments together, our group work. So I thought, let me ask her. If she didn't get it, this is definitely a scam. I asked her about it and she says, no, she didn't get this email. So I'm like, okay, scam. And then after that, I see people posting it on their statuses. So they're congratulating their friends about it. And then I'm just like, okay, what's this about? I asked them and she says, no, she's just congratulating her friend. She doesn't know what it's about, but she's just being a supportive friend. So I'm like, okay, it's a scam. After that, I see a lot of people posting Golden Key International Awards, congratulations. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to ask my sister. She used to be in varsity, so she must know about this. I ask her about it and she says, wow, that's a big award. That's like being in top 10. And I go to the email, I read it again, and they say, okay, this award is given to people in the top 15% of your respective course. I'm like, okay. And I ask her, so this isn't a scam? She's like, no, it's an honorary award in university. So I was like, oh damn, so this is real. I tell my mother about it and then she ordered us milkshakes to congratulate me. So we're drinking milkshakes and from that day I was just happy. So the second year in varsity, I said, I need to do more. I need to put myself out there. So I did a few side hustles where I would sell tickets for the cricket T20 and I would just do different things here and there. And then after that, in November of 2018, that's when I was like, okay, I need to work on my confidence. So I went with my father to the local radio station. I asked if I could work there and they said it was fine. And that's where I got into radio presenting, news anchoring, and news or radio production. So I worked in radio production throughout my holidays. There was a time in my last year, my final year of varsity. So the pressure is harder in the third year. There's more work. The work is harder. So holidays, I wouldn't rest. I had another job because my sister also used to work at a radio station. So I thought, let me jump in here as well. I jumped in there and then, so it was from 7 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night that I used to work. I go home, I eat, I sleep, and I repeat the next day. There was a time where I was so mentally and physically exhausted. I just couldn't function anymore. I remember I had to write a semester test where I couldn't even study because my brain wouldn't concentrate. So I had an exam the next day. I didn't have transport, so I had to go on the day of the exam. So I went on the day of the exam. I went in the morning. My exam was at 2 o'clock. So I went in the morning. I got to my apartment and I said, okay, I'm just going to take a quick power nap. I'm going to start studying and then I'm going to go write my exam. So needless to say, I was exhausted and I slept through my exam. I went to go ask the lecturer if I could write with the people that brought sick notes. He said it was fine and I went to go write with those people. Okay, so I passed that exam as well and I graduated. And now, I think I've come a very long way working on my confidence because I've got my own show now. And everything has just been flowing way better. I can speak to people more easily now. I can make jokes with them instead of being the shy child in the corner trying to avoid everybody. Okay, so regarding my confidence issues, I think I'm still working on that. I think it's going to take quite a while. So like I said, I had low confidence when I was younger. So over 20 years, over 20 years, I've been working on my confidence and I'm currently still working on my confidence. And then when it comes to psychology and just trying to evaluate people, I think I'm also still working on that. I don't think I'm where I should be, but I know I'm going to get there eventually. So trusting the process for me means that I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I was either. So I just need to keep pushing harder. And life has thrown me with many curveballs, so I got rejected many times when I went for the auditions, when I entered for the school Miss Stan Miss competition. I was laughed at by the teachers and the students the following day. My graduation was cancelled the day before the ceremony because of COVID-19. And so many curveballs that I faced as well, because when you're younger they tell you education is the key, so you need to have that degree behind your names. I have 2 degrees behind my name and I've knocked on many doors. They tell you, oh no, you're not what we're looking for, or you don't have the experience. So I think trusting the process just means that eventually you'll get where you want to be. It just takes those baby steps. You're going to go left, you're going to go right, but sometimes, you need to go through those detours. Okay, so nothing is ever impossible in life. If you believe and you put in the work, nothing is ever impossible. Also, I think stop sharing unnecessary dreams to your family, your friends. Because when I say unnecessary, I mean don't share what you have in your mind. Don't share your vision with everybody else, because there's a lot of people that are going to try and discourage you. So I love the story about the hare and the tortoise. So there's many family members where they're like, I don't even have a degree and I have a better job than you. I have a much larger salary than you. So a degree isn't even all that. And that might be true, but like the story of the tortoise and the hare, the tortoise was far behind in life and the hare was far ahead. And then the hare just thought, you know what, this person is never going to catch up to me. And you know what, the tortoise kept persevering, kept pushing through, and in the end he won. So it might be a slow start. You might see your friends starting their families, your friends are traveling, they have the most amazing job, they're just doing well in life, and you feel like you're stuck in one place. Never give up, because you are going to get to where you want to be. You are going to get everything that your heart desires. All you have to do is push through. Like I said, life is going to throw a lot of detours at you. You are going to face a lot of challenges. But in the end, you need to remember, maybe you needed to go through those challenges to make you a stronger person. Maybe those toxic people that was in your life, you needed to experience this because you needed to know that when I get to the top, this is how I don't want to treat people. You needed to have those managements that look down on you and just put you down and tell you, you're never going to do that. That isn't for you. Maybe don't do that, because when you're at the top, you are going to know how to treat your staff. You are you are going to know how to treat everybody around you. So I think it's very important that you go through all these challenges in life so that you just reign on top, because a slow start doesn't mean a slow finish. Life is a journey, not a destination.